Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attendance, also for your patience. I think this is something that you've been wanting to know, and important that we do it in the right manner and way. So thanks for your attendance, and we'll open this press conference now. Thanks.
We just ask questions now.
Yeah.
I guess, difficult decision for you, and is it Glouvester that you're going to, and can you just tell us, about that?
Yeah, no, obviously, Jock, it was a hard decision. It wasn't easy. It wasn't just a one-day thing. It was quite a long time. But at the end of the day, it is Glouvester, and it is going to hopefully enhance me as a coach. That was the main reason for it, because, I haven't been as happy as I've been here. As before in my life, I enjoyed every time I get in my car. It was a pleasure to come here, and so it was a rapid decision to get better as a coach, hopefully, and experience something different, new competitions. And you never know, maybe one day I can put that experience back into South Africa.
I wonder the contract for how long did you sign then?
It's a 3-year offer, so it will be 3 years at the moment. Yeah.
I was just maybe take us through how the transition is going to work. Who's going to take over for you? You want to handle that, but, and just to the end of Super Rugby, and then how the handover is going to work.
Thank you, Brendan. Obviously, we're fortunate to have you until end of Super Rugby, and we're focusing on Super Rugby now. We will consult obviously all stakeholders before we make an announcement and a takeover. We're fortunate that Johan has also left us with some coaches with experience in the management team and in our junior coaches, so we will look within, and then we'll let the media and press know. But at the moment we're focusing on Super Rugby. Our next competition is Currie Cup, so we'll let you know as soon as that happens.
Because there's some people already saying, you're already going, how's your mind, mindset going to be for the remainder of Super Rugby, questioning that sort of thing. But I suppose you can tell the public that, you're 100% committed until then.
Yeah, no, I will be disappointed if the people, especially the supporters, doubt my integrity and my commitment to this side. This wasn't easy this morning to tell the players. It was quite an emotional time, and therefore they mean more to me than just players, and I owe it to them to be 100% committed, and then obviously I owe it to the union for what they've done in my coaching career. So there's no doubt to my commitment to the Lions all the way, hopefully till the last hurdle, but that we must still do a lot of hard work. And my journey will only start once the job is done. Yeah, so there's no doubt in my mind that myself as a coach is 100% committed, and I trust that the players will see that and feel that, and that commitment from their side will also be 100%.
How did the players react when you told them?
Yeah, there's some players that we started this path a few years ago. It was all a difficult stage for us, so that's why I say it's a bit more than just rugby. I said to them, I got a promise from God in January 2013 about the resurrection of the Lions, and that to me means that every player was not by accident at the Lions. So there's quite a special bond, so it was quite emotional and special, but they understand, hopefully, and I trust that like I said, that this is not goodbye. I said to them, I hope that our relationship is from that kind that we will, in 15, 20 years from now, can have a reunion, nobody's, and still be the friends, because we really build a friendship and a bondship that I trust is more than rugby. So it was tough this morning, but I made it clear to them that I want us to reflect on the journey together, and get it over and done by this week. And next week, there's only one thing we're focusing on is Super Rugby, and questions only Super Rugby. We're not going to hop on this longer than this week.
This decision can almost be used as a motivation tool to make sure that you want to end the season on a high, or your career year on a high with a trophy, a super trophy.
Yeah, I mean, one can look at it that way, but again, it's not about me. I said to them, the door may be open up for somebody to take them even higher, do even more what we can think of. And myself, and I said to Straeuli as well, when we started with this journey, we said, I know we're going to get judged by trophies, but it's more than that for us. It's about human beings, working with them and see if we can change lives there. And that will still stay my purpose up until the end of the Super Rugby and wherever I go.
Johan, I want to ask you, in SA Rugby, when you've been coach of the year 3 times in a row, yet one gets the idea that when it comes to looking at you as a national coach and so on, it's almost as though it's been looked the other way. Did that in any way play a role in your decision? The way that you might have been treated by SA Rugby?
I mean, obviously there's contracts in place and decisions that they have made, so I must look where I can enhance myself. So at this stage, I honor that the fact that there is a guy in the job, and I can have this next few years to go improve myself as a coach. If that's my end goal where I must be, then that the door will open one day. But at this stage, I played a lot of Super Rugby, coach 7 years of Super Rugby, 3 as an assistant and 4 as a head coach. So now I think it's time to go test myself different. And every SA Rugby's got the right to choose who they want to, and if it's not me now, then maybe one day. But I mean, it's for now. I can't wait. I had to make decisions.
Are you going to pull out as coach of the SA side as well? How does that work?
I haven't really gave that thought. I haven't discussed that with Rudolph or with SA Rugby yet. I am in the country still, so it's if they want me still to do it, I can. But obviously, if they feel that somebody else need that experience and must do it, then I won't stand in that person's way.
Johan, you mentioned Straeuli. Quite often English clubs, when they appoint a new coach, allow the guy to bring one member of his coaching team with him. Is that the case here?
No, I mean, all the coaches are signed with the Lions, and we're going to respect that. So I'm not going to take anybody with me now on that front. I'll have to go work that side and just see what I get from that side.
Rudolph, just on that, I mean, as far as I understand, Ackermann's contract was till next year. So you guys are letting him. Was there a buyout from Glouvester, or was it just a by mutual agreement? And
Brendan is exactly as by mutual agreement, and we honour his decision, give him that opportunity to grow, and hopefully he can come back one day and play even a bigger role in South African rugby.
just on a personal front, I mean, you said before your family, etc., was part of the consideration. I take it they all obviously on board, but that must have been quite a difficult decision as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, we still have to finalize the logistical side with my daughter and my wife. Am I going for the first part on my own and then them joining later, or are we all going now? So we've got a few months to finalize that. But again, my wife has been supportive of me during tough times in my playing career, where I had to play in Durban, in Griquas, in Northampton. And we always managed to get through it. They were always understanding of the path that I chose. So hopefully this one will also work out quite well,
Rudolph, obviously we're all aware of the financial constraints which South African rugby in general operates under. But did you guys make a counter offer?
Yeah, well, basically, Ken, we had a long discussion with Johan. Obviously, we wanted to keep him, and like I said earlier on in that other question, is that we honour his decision at the moment. and it's an opportunity for us to grow and keep that continuity with the legacy that is left, you know. So in everything you would like to keep people, and it's for us keeping the stability that we have at the moment, and in our playing and coaching staff, that's why it took so long before we came out with a statement.
Just obviously you guys got some very passionate fans outside there. Some of them might not like this decision as much. Obviously it's a personal one for you, but just your message to them.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I wrote something small. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I wanted to write something, I could have wrote a whole book about the last few years. But you know, if you don't mind, I'm going to read it in Afrikaans. I just said, ja, is my groot hartseer en besluit om weg te gaan en die pos by Glouvester te vat. My tyd by die Leeu's was 'n buitengewone journey, met meer hoogtepunte as laagtepunte en een van wonderwerk op wonderwerk. Ek wil die volgende bedank en kan nie sonder hulle hierdie verhaal geskryf het nie. Ek wil vir God dank vir sy leiding en hoe alles in plek geval het. Ek wil my gesin dank wat agter my gestaan het. Ek wil die spelers en my spanbestuur bedank vir hulle harde werk en onvoorwaardelike ondersteuning. Ek wil die personeel van die Leeu's bedank agter die skerms, en dan wil ek die topbestuur bedank, in besonder vir Kevin, vir Altman en vir Rudolph. En dan laastens om by jou vraag aan te sluit, die ondersteuners. Toe ek daai kans gekry het in 2013, toe ek daai kans gekry het, was jy baie ondersteuners wat die ou net altyd ondersteun het. So ek wil net vir elke ondersteuner wat by die Leeu's gestaan het deur die dun tye en die goeie tye nou dankie sê. Was vir ware voorreg om die Leeu's te kon afrig en deel te wees van hierdie unie en die ondersteuners en die spelers se lewe. Ek het regtig elke oomblik geniet, maar 'n tyd het aangebreek vir 'n nuwe uitdaging en hopelik sal dit ook so goeie ervaring wees. En ek wil net vir almal, maak nie saak wat jou aandeel was in my lewe as afrigter hierso, net dankie sê.
Selfs die media.
Selfs die media, Christo. Sonder julle kan ons ook nie bestaan nie. So dankie daarvoor. Ek was al my kwaai Saterdag aand, so daar.
Rudolph, you speak about obviously the quality coaches within your system. Are you going to consider people from the outside for the job?
Like I said early on, is we will consult all stakeholders, even you as the media, and at the end of the day, hopefully we'll make the right decision. At the moment, there's nice continuity, nice stability, and we just like to focus on the Super Rugby campaign. There's enough time for us to make those announcements. Only the next competition is only Currie Cup, so we've got enough time to do it.
Rudolph, maybe just follow on that, but just in your person you're looking for to follow up, I take it would be somebody who has a similar philosophy, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, bring a new coach and do everything over.
We definitely have a definite culture at the Lions, and we'll look at that person to fit in with that culture, and hopefully, and like I say, you usually have people within your right in this vicinity that can do it.
Maar van jou kant af, voel jy daar's iemand in die huidige afrigtingsspan wat jy dink, sonder dat 'n naam te noem, wat jy dink goed genoeg is om jou taak mee te vat?
Daar's verseker altyd iemand. Ek dink geen speler en geen afrigter is onvervangbaar nie. En hierso by die Leeu's, ons het regtig soos wat die spelers se familieband het ons dit onder ons afrigters ook, en ek sluit hier onder junior afrigters in ook. So daar's verseker ervaring. As jy net dink dat JP is al hierso van 2007, so dis al 10 jaar se ervaring by die Leeu's se kultuur. Swys is nou al, hoe ervare is Swys nie? Op alle vlakke al afgerig, en hy's nou al 4 jaar in die sisteem. Hy ken die kultuur, ken die spelers. So daar's definitief interne is daar posisies wat 'n ou kan vervang. Maar natuurlik is nie my besluit nie. Dit sal geneem word deur Rudolph, en hy sal sekere mense nader en besluit, en daar is tyd nou, en daar's ook 'n Currie-beker wat jy altyd iemand eers die geleentheid kan gee. Ek was die Currie-beker gegeen deur oom Kevin hulle daai tyd 2012, toe ek net moes waarneem en dit het vir my die deur oopgemaak. So daar's weer 'n Currie-beker om iemand 'n geleentheid te gee en te wys is dit nodig om iemand te kry. So daar's genoeg tyd en proses in plek gesit, maar daar's baie ervaring in ons huidige ou soos Wessel, Roo en Herkie is ook al jare in afrigting betrokke.
Johan, you mentioned personal growth. At international level now, just about every top international coach has coached in a couple of countries, hardly anyone just in their own country. Was that a big part of your decision?
I do believe that somewhere, I mean, obviously winning Super Rugby opened doors for you, but I do believe if one can go and do well overseas, hopefully a international side will one day say, listen, this guy has done well in the southern and northern hemisphere. So that was a way of thinking as well, to improve myself as a coach. Now suddenly you're going to measure yourself against guys that I admire and respect of what they achieved with the clubs. You just think about Bath and Wasp and also Exeter Chiefs. That coaches also took that sides from nothing and built it up. So you're going to get tested in that European competitions, and then just as a player has got this dream of playing international. I think once you start with your coaching career, everybody wants to, at some stage, doesn't matter at what role, coach international. So hopefully that will be a stepping stone.
Johan, how do you think about the other coaches who played a role in your development as a coach in your earlier years? Maybe guys like Dick or maybe John?
Oh well, the one person that obviously opened the door was Dick by giving me the opportunity in coaching, by making me his assistant. And like a player, I learned a lot under Wayne Smith, under Laurie Mains, Andre Markgraaf. Every guy had a footprint in the way you were thinking about the game. Then obviously, learned a lot from Dick and John as coaches. There was not always just wrong, there's things that you could have learned. But then again, you also have to add your own philosophy and your own flavor and how you want to treat people and all those little things. So it was a journey, and I do believe that my playing career with the coaching career has had that I learned from coaches, and I definitely had a huge part playing in my coaching now, and hopefully I'll even learn some more now, because it's going to be players with different cultures, different languages, and not a lot of Afrikaans.
Rudolph, just from your point of view, do you maybe see this as another red light for South African rugby, that a coach of the quality of Johan now gets lost to the country, in addition to all other coaches and all other players that go, I know it's a difficult thing to stop, but that what's happening here now should maybe make them think, what can we do to retain these people?
Yeah, Krista, I think South African rugby has got its strategy. Obviously we've got to focus on the Lions right now.
Yeah, sure.
And like I said, if Johan can pick up that experience. I learned a lot overseas. I did 7 years in the Northern Hemisphere and English clubs. You do learn a lot about yourself as well as an individual. And I think for us, as we don't have a lot of depth in our professional coaches as well as our professional referees, I think there's not a lot of depth there. But hopefully, they've got a plan with the players and when to bring them back from overseas. I just believe that it's a more global industry. Players can go to Japan, players can come back, coaches can go, like you've seen with Brendan Fenter, can coach Italy, can coach various teams back with the Springboks. So I think the industry has changed a little bit, and we've got to adapt, or maybe we become leaders at the Lions and not just adapt to what SA Rugby is giving us.
Rudolph, kan ek net Afrikaans luister? Jy het duidelik alles probeer om Johan te hou. Gee ons dalk net 'n opsomming van wat hy vir die Unie beteken en die leemte wat hy gaan laat as hy professioneel.
Kyk, weer eens, ek ken Johan al langer as net toe hy afrigter geword het hier by die Leeu's. Jy weet, so ek was bevoorreg om met Johan op verskeie ander vlakke ook te deel en een ding is sy werksetiek, sy geloof wat hy gebring het. Johan is 'n groot net in statuur nie, maar wat hy vir ons gebring het in leierskap en waantoe hy ons gevat het, ons spelers, ons gaan dit definitief mis, maar gelukkig het hy ook daai afrigters rondom hom positief beïnvloed met sy strategie en het ons nou daai stabiliteit en diepte in ons unie. Maar ja, ons gaan hom definitief mis, maar hopelik, soos ek sê, ons respekteer sy besluit. Hopelik groei hy om terug te kom vir Suid-Afrikaanse rugby en wie weet, eendag miskien dalk weer by die Leeu's. Dankie, gee my van.